spirit, trust their vibes, and live in the grace and glory of an extraordinary spirit-guided life. She is a fourth-generation intuitive guide, beginning her public work with spirit at the age of 15. She spent over 45 years traveling the world on her mission to help others lead confident, authentic lives using their intuition as their guiding light. She is the author of 27 internationally best-selling books and numerous audio programs on intuitive awakening, personal and creative growth, and spiritual transformation. Most notably with the New York Times bestseller, The Answer is Simple. She's been published in over 40 countries, and her work has been translated into 37 languages, making her one of the most widely read authors and experts in the field. She is an avid traveler, passionate dancer, prolific storyteller, and a natural comedian. She prides herself on her endless pursuit of learning, growing, and living full out every day. And she loves everything about the place she calls home, Paris, France. Please welcome me, and joining to the stage, please welcome Sonia Shockett.
Quite an introduction. Thank you so much. I am very, very delighted to be here, and I believe that anytime souls come together, we come by divine appointment. We agreed on some level at some point in our soul journey that on this day we would meet. We would remember one another, and we would remember why we're here together. So even if you got dragged here, and even if you got talked into it, or even if a part of you isn't really on board, turn to yourself and say, I worked really hard to be here, so all of me better show up. And then turn to the person next to you and say, and you too. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to ask you for the next 2 hours to put your notebooks away. Thank God, right? One thing I do know is I wrote all those books because I know you'll never read your notes. So let's just put those away, and I want you to feel what it feels like to be asked to do that. Because the part of you that's annoyed by that is the part of you that's blocking you from reaching the highest frequency. Now, our notes I've taken. I have a fabulous book called Ask Your Guides, and if you don't like reading, you can listen to it, so you won't miss a thing. What I need from you is to be present. So the first thing is check the vibe. Just feel the energy in the room. And what do you feel? Let me just throw it out there. Energized, what else? Safe, what else? Happy, what else? Peaceful, open, yes. And what might be missing? Breathing. Everybody, what I want you to do is slowly take a breath in through the nose. Pay attention as we do this. Pay attention to how you feel right now, okay? Because in the next little while, I'm not going to give you information. I'm going to give you a transmission. Consider me like a jump starter to a battery in you, the inner knowing in you that really will serve all of your goals. So just pay attention right now. Then slowly, slowly, slowly take a breath in through your nose. Don't raise your shoulders. When you reach that maximum, hold it. And then slowly pull your belly to your spine and blow out with the intention of emptying everything holding on to you, everything you're holding on to like you're blowing out a candle. And pause. Move around a little bit. Breathe in again. Hold, hold, hold. Decide to empty. Let's just say empty is the new empowered state. Empty. Exhale. Breath. Breathe out. And don't be stingy with this. Don't be stingy. Don't do it halfway. Don't breathe to the collarbone. Breathe up from your feet into your heart space. And notice how your ribs open up just a little, just a little, as you breathe into the heart space. And when you reach the heart, take a second breath up to the crown. Open your jaw, and you're going to feel something. You're going to feel an opening in your throat, in your high heart, in your heart, in your belly. And just slide into your heart. I didn't hear any of you. So that was our rough draft. Now let's do it again. Breathe in. Breathe through the crown. Open your jaw wide. This is the junction box where everything either happens or doesn't. Now it's about 10% of you. Okay, so I am seeing that we're going to have a more dramatic jump start. So here's the deal. I can help you connect with the most important guide you have, which is your own spirit. It won't be something you think about, and it's certainly not something out here you have to grab onto. It is an activation of your core frequency. And your core frequency is what you need now in this world to operate, to function, to be your best self. You know that frequency. It's elusive. It might play cat and mouse with you. It might be a hum in the background, but it's been drowned out by a lot of noise. Noise in your own head, noise in the world, noise coming at your phone. But that home frequency is your best spirit guide. It is your best frequency because it knows and can control and guide you to be in perfect flow and alignment of your most magnificent self. And the best part is you don't have to think. But that core frequency has got to be something you want. It's not going to insist, but it will bug you. It will leave you feeling slightly disturbed in a way that there's a French saying, I feel good in my skin. And if you're not aligned with your core frequency as primary communication, and it's not words, it's not pep talks, it's not affirmations, it's a force that moves you. Did you ever hear the expression, the spirit moves me? It does. So everybody just move around a little bit. Open your jaw. Moi. Take a big risk. Turn to the person next to you and say, moi. Take another look the other way again. Moi. Now, this core frequency activates in your heart, and it starts pinging out, and it starts activating all your inner senses. Your gut sense of safety, your heart sense of connection, your throat sense of communication, creativity, and connection. But this heart frequency also activates every cell in your body. Every cell in your body is conscious. Every one. And communicating. What is it communicating? Are you listening? And you don't listen with your ears. You listen with your whole body. Take a breath. Free yourself. Thank God. We're bringing the spirit back. Move around a little bit. Move around a little bit. Okay, here's the deal. We can do one of two things. I can give you a lot of information, and I'll even let you go back and write it down. It'll be totally waste of time, but your ego will feel like you're busy, and it's familiar. Or we can blow it out of the water. I can give you a complete egg scrambling experience, wake up your spirit, reconnect that core frequency, illuminate your entire consciousness, give your brain a break, and just know that with that connection, you will be instantly informed energetically in the moment of every single connection you are making and how to bring it back into congruency and alignment with the help of your spirit, The spirit of your clients, the spirit of the earth that you're working with, it's alive. The spirit of your helpers, the spirit of everything, because everything ultimately is spirit. So, choice A or B? Well, with that enthusiasm, you've made no choice whatsoever. And here's the other deal, and this is something you need to know. Not for me, because I don't need a thing. However, your spirit and your spirit guides will never work harder for you than you. Because they have to respect your withholding, your control, your mental know-it-all, the I need to know. It'll never, so you lock yourself out. And I know that you know what I'm talking about. By the way, I am talking to your spirit, but your ego is a bit annoyed. I know that, because your ego likes to be in control, but it keeps you isolated. Look at how your body language is. That alone tells you don't feel safe. Look at the fact that you're not breathing. And when I say look at someone else, your eyes from my point of view are telling you that you don't really feel safe, because the truth is your ego never does. It'll never be safe enough. Your ego will never be in charge enough. It'll never be clever enough. And by the way, for some of you, I understand that you're the best of the best of the best in California, and even that, at the levels of success you perhaps have already achieved, do you know there's a part of you that says, not enough, right? But what is the enough that you're looking for? Even today, when your ego is in charge, you block out the spirit, you don't connect to your guides. And then you know what you have? The brand new addiction. Do you know what the brand new addiction is? I love it. Manifestation. That's the new addiction. I'll manifest more, and then I'll be good. Well, maybe I need just a little bit more, and then I'll be good. Right? You know what I'm talking about. It is to an addiction, because what is missing is that connection to your core frequency. And when you're connected to yourself, there's no void. There's no emptiness. And then you begin to move through the world from a place of I'm connected. I can attract whatever I need with grace, with ease, and certainty. And I can communicate with anybody and be completely connected, because I'm talking not role to role, but soul to soul, in which case we share the breath. There is no other. There's just us. So we're together. Let's create. Take a breath. Now, the other truth is that very, very rarely in your life are you going to be asked to put 2 feet in. That means no holding back, no mental reserve, and no what I call, in the 5 sensory world, tight butt syndrome. And tight butt syndrome is when your ego is trying to pretend that it's going along, but it's still in control, and there's signatures. You give yourselves away. The first is drive-by eyes. Feel it? Isn't it that annoying? No connection. The second is a tight jaw. And the answer is, how are you? Fine. Fine. Good. The jaw's clamped shut because your throat chakra's clamped shut. The third is you do wrap your arms around your solar plexus, because this is where your power is, and your ego doesn't want you to have that power, because then it has to move. It has to be open. So, and the final is you have a really tight butt. You squeeze, you don't move. I call it, with all due respect to everybody, like a white man dancing at a wedding. All locked down here. So, we can cure that, and we can open up. So here's my suggestion. Clearly, You're putting a lot of effort to be part of this community, right? You do want something. Not sure what it is. Maybe my spirit guides. Maybe I'll manifest with them. Then I'll be the best. Maybe that's it. But there's some core connection that you know intuitively is just at best flickering. Maybe it surges and goes down. Maybe it does work, but you stuff it, hide it. Goodness sakes, I'm never going to talk about spirit guides or spirit. I got to be real. The world is asking now for you to make a choice. So I can help you activate the spirit, have the experience, and then if you hate it and you want to go back to TBS, we can pretend we never met. Okay? Are you up for it? I think you need it. Don't you? Because if this is full-on enthusiasm, we need paramedics in here pretty quick. Okay, so I need visual aids. I need 3 people up here who really have TBS. Tight butt syndrome. The people who ask are the ones usually have the biggest case. So I need, and if you don't want to out yourselves, never mind, everybody in the room knows you have it anyway, okay? It's just super obvious. So I need 3 visual aids. I love that you're coming. You've changed your mind. Come. And here's my question. Why wouldn't you? You want to be the leader. Why would this even, why isn't this a stampede? Why is this like, oh, no. When you want to be leaders, welcome leaders, welcome. Like, look at them going, oh my God, it's a wild, crazy person. Okay, so I am going to teach you an exercise, and this exercise is a breath exercise, which will wake up your spirit. It's going to take 3 minutes and 42 seconds, okay? These are your visual aids, but they're not going to do it for you. Every one of you are going to get up and do this, okay? Your enthusiasm is blowing me away. Okay, very first thing. Raise your arms above your head like you are a baby bird and open the jaw like a baby bird getting a worm. And then I want you to pull your arms down. Ha! Okay, do it again. Ha! Now that, first of all, starts to wake up your spirit. Can you feel it already? Secondly, it puts your spirit in your body. Because if you're not in your body, you have no power. I don't care how well dressed you are, okay? So again, ha! Okay, now that's your basic move. But what we're going to do is we are going to change your entire energetic, neurobiological framework, and we're going to start doing something where every time you do a move, ha! What I want you to do, we're going to keep doing this over and over again for 3 minutes and 42 seconds, okay? But here's the key. Every time you do it, you have to do a move you've never done before. You have to do a move never done before. Now, you don't have to do a huge move. You just do a little one. Now, why on earth would you do that, right? Are you looking? I'll tell you why. Because, first of all, you're breathing. You're involving your body. The new moves are waking up your brain. You're parked in Deadsville, okay? It's going to start getting both sides of your brain talking to one another. Now, expect for the first minute that you're going to have a big argument. Big argument. Stupid, stupid, stupid. You're going to stop breathing. You might just start moving, or you might just stand there going, not good enough. That's why we have visual aids, because they will keep you connected. Now, each time you do a new move, you're starting to get the 2 hemispheres talking. Your right brain is the gateway to your spirit. Your left brain is the ego monitoring the physical. First they argue, and then they get bored. so they start to cooperate. Then a new argument starts. Your head starts to argue with your heart. Back and forth. So this is where you're going to start getting, I'm exhausted. This is stupid. She's dumb. Tell her to go away. I don't want to move anymore. I just had lunch. I have to go to the bathroom. I'm going to throw up. These are the things you're going to start hearing, okay? So that will go on for a while until finally that gets bored and they'll stop arguing. And then in the next minute comes curiosity. Curiosity is when both sides of the brain and head and heart start to work together. And everything comes online. And all of a sudden, your brain goes quiet and your spirit comes out. And you are in a perfect, empowered, harmonious state. Curious? My friend, who is one of the top neuroplasticists of the world, Anat Banyel, said this is the most brilliant exercise she's ever encountered for putting your entire brain and body into perfect harmony. So, and nothing else will be good for your lunch digestion, okay? Now, we have to have some motivation for this, right? So I have created a song. It's disco. And we are going to play the song to keep you going, which is 3 minutes and 41 seconds. And I'm going to keep telling you, keep going. Now, we're creatures of habit. You're going to go, ha, 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 and you're going to totally forget that I said do a new move. So you got to help one another. I'm going to say change. That means change your activity, change your partner, stay connected, and the other thing I'm asking you to do is stay present. Get back in your bodies and be here. You're all over the place. Get here. Be present. Be curious for the next 3 minutes, and let's just see what happens. Ready? Anybody want to run for the door? Okay, good. All right. Shoes off. I'm going to get you ready. Shoes off if you're in flip-flops, because I have had a few ankle twists in this. I will be free. So, shoes off so you're on the ground. Ready? And we're going to need some help with our audio people. We are going to need some help. If you run out of moves, and your imagination is dead, so make it up, okay? Now, I'm not very good in left brain, but I've got it. So you got some volume there? Here we go. You have to move. Hands up. Get ready. Ha! 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 Faster! Ha! Ha! Move! Ha! New move! Ha! 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 Get the rhythm! Ha! New move! Ha! 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 Keep going! Get into it! Ha! Ha! Find the bounce! Ha! Ha! New partner! Ha! 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 Keep going! Don't give up! Ha! Ha! And if you stop, the part of you that's stopping you here is stopping you in life. Ha! 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 This is not hard. This is fun. Ha! 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 Keep going. Ha! 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 New move. New partner. Ha! 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 You look like a bunch of geriatrics. Let's do it. Ha! 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 New partner. Ha! 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 Keep going. 2 minutes. Ha! 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 New move. Ha! Ha! Let go. Ha! Ha! Surrender. Ha! Breathe. Breathe. Move. Get that brain working. Ha! 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 New move. Don't get stuck in autopilot. Ha! 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 Be Be creative. Ha, 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 ha. Keep going. You're not going to die. Ha, 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 ha. New move. Change places. Ha, 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 ha. Don't just move. Breathe, breathe. Ha, 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 ha. Keep moving. Ha, ha, ha. 3 minutes. Ha, ha. This is the moment where your body and your brain want to stop. Ha. Push it through. Ha. You're just breathing. This is good for your heart. Ha. 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 New move. Ha. 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 Keep going. Ha. 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 Last push. Ha. 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 Breathe. Open that throat. Ha. 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 New move. Ha. 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 And breathe. Visual aids, thank you so much. Feel the vibe. Feel the vibe. Feel the vibe. And I want you to feel your resistance. You didn't die. It was literally 3 minutes, 41 seconds. For those of you who want this song, I'll give it to you. And here's the thing. Shh. Listen. It's quiet in your head. Listen. This is the kind of quiet you need to tune into, to feel guidance. It's not your barking dog, noisy brain. It's not the noise of the world. It's called being present. Thank you, visual aids. Thank you. This is called breath work. If you show up and do this every morning, and all you really have to do is just push play. The rest will take over naturally while you're brushing your teeth and while you're getting ready. Ha, ha, ha. And do you know what the sound of intuitive guidance is? Aha. It opens the throat, it opens the heart, it opens the channel, it quiets the brain, it puts your spirit in your body. Ah. Move around a little bit. Now, this is the vibe that's going to get you what you're looking for. This, not the part of you that's controlling, not the part of you that's self-conscious, not the part of you that's restricted. That part of you is only going to keep kicking the can down the road. But at some point, for some of you, maybe not all of you, you surrendered some control and just went for it, didn't you? At some point. First point, you're a little suspicious. Second, highly annoyed. Third, I'm just in it. I can't get off the stage, so whatever. And then go for it. And that go for it is what has to happen for you to tune into your guides. That surrendering of your ego control. That surrendering is liberation, not annihilation. Take a breath. Ah. Smile. Smile. Feel the curtains of your heart open up. Ah. Ah. By the way, that breath I gave you, 2 inhales and a sigh, that is one of the most stress-relieving exercises. I call that the everybody out of the pool breath. Ah. Just throwing all that noise out so you can be present. Present to you, present to your clients, present to what you're doing. When you are working in the field that 97% of you are in, or frankly any field, it's sacred work. But especially in your field as realtors, you're giving people, ideally, safe haven sanctuary, a place where they feel safe. Whether it's professional, businesses, or personal, it doesn't matter. Do you know that it's sacred work? That you are actually being empowered by a divine force? And I'm not talking about religion. I am talking about a holy force that is saying through you, you are going to help this person become grounded, their family. Maybe maybe meet someone in that community. Maybe the connection will change the world. And I'm the midwife for that miracle. I'm the midwife. I am the ambassador that makes that chain reaction happen. And it's not going to happen if you're in your head. You won't connect to a thing if you're so self-conscious and in your ego. Because the ego, by nature, doesn't connect. That's science. It controls. The ego otherizes. It's me against you. So it's a struggle. Who's going to win? The spirit connects. Your spirit connects. It connects to your body. That's the first thing we just did. Connects to your environment. Connect to the person next to you. Turn to the person next to you and see them maybe for the first time today. Notice something about them you had not noticed before. Notice something about them. Some gift, some quality. Let's practice. Let's practice. Notice a quality in their spirit, not in their outfit. Notice a quality in their vibration that they might hide, maybe even don't know. Just notice, because the definition of intuition, the first definition and my favorite, is to notice. Notice. Be interested and curious. Who is this miracle before me? My teachers taught me you never, ever, ever know anyone completely, including yourself. So use the part of you that you don't normally engage in to notice. And now we're going to have an interesting conversation. You're in groups of 3. So the 3 and the 3 and the 3 and the 3. I want you to talk to one another and say, this is what I notice about you. I notice that, in fact, you're a beautiful artist. And that kind of sublimated, but it really is turning your life into a glorious work of art. I notice that you love beauty. And I notice that you look for ways to bring it out without attracting attention. I notice that about you. And I notice that you are actually breaking from a lot of tradition and really going for a dream that haven't been that encouraged to follow. It really is your own inner engine pushing you. It's courageous. And now you're gaining momentum. You're starting to trust that this was a good choice. I notice that people trust you, and that's a good thing. Do you notice that about yourself? Notice the gifts. Notice the gifts. I notice that you are someone who makes people very secure. You do and can help people feel through your voice that they are safe, that they can trust your guidance. Do you know that about you? Do you know that about you? Yeah, good. This is what I want you to notice, not the surface, not green eyes and glasses. Notice the quality, and the only way you can do that is by listening to your core frequency, because that's a part of you that notices, and it's fun. And the only way you can't do it is if your ego tries to do it. So you have to tell your ego, you can't do this. Okay, so don't worry about being right or wrong. You can't even play the game, okay? You curious? Now, here's the thing about this game. I'm going to notice, but there's three qualities that you have to play this game. First, you have to be willing to be wrong. Are you willing to be wrong? Okay. Second is you can't ask if you're right. Okay, you can't come around the back door and ask if you're right. To live in the Spirit, you can't depend on the affirmation of other people to give you permission to be clear and lucid. You have to find that truth within. And it's new, so we're safe here. You can practice here. And the third, you have to really be curious. So you have to get over yourself for just a few minutes and genuinely be interested. Who am I sitting next to? My teachers taught me you never know the universe you're sitting next to. So I have to give you a good story before we start. I had a client who came to my apartment years ago when I was doing readings. I was a young woman at the time, maybe 20. He was a nephrologist, a doctor who worked on kidneys. Very elegant man, Polish. And he said, Sonia, I really am very intuitive and I feel guided by my angels and guides. But if my wife knew I was here, she would think I lost my mind. She would divorce me. If my wife knew I was here, she would mock me. So I'm very lonely in my connection to spirit. And I said, I understand, but people out there will connect with you if you just open up. So I'm putting his coat on, helping him get his coat on. I live in an apartment in Chicago, and the doorbell rings. It's the intercom, so I answer the intercom, and I turn back around, and he's as white as a ghost. I was like, what happened? He goes, that's my wife. And this was the better part. He said, do you have a back door? And off he went. And that just affected me so deeply that he was so sure he knew who he was with that he just projected this whole story that isolated himself. And here was his wife who felt the same way. So how much is assumption clouding your ability to be powerful? Do you know that the thing people want most in life is to be noticed accurately? Accurately, not drive-by eyes. Accurately, and this is your chance to try. You must do it in some way because you're already have elevated yourself to a pretty high level, right? Been noticing something. So do it with, and if you're with someone you know, live with, partner with, have been friends with forever, even better. Even better. Notice, not your memory, your projection, their energy. Want to try? For the 4 of you who said yes, you're going to have a good time. For the rest of you, what are you going to do? Oh, no. So, but I do want to tell you something. The energy I'm getting from you is an energy that is very mental. Okay? Just want you to feel the vibe. It's very mental. It's mental control. And if you live at that level, you're at the top. You're plateauing on where you're going to go in life. You're not going to go much further. It's fine. I have no investment. I'm just giving you a mirror. And I think you know that. Because our world is changing. Our planet is being disruptive. And mental energy is not the boss. Einstein said it best. He said the human spirit is a sacred gift. And the rational mind, this mental frequency, is its faithful servant. But sadly, we have thrown away the gift and become enslaved to the servant. So take a breath. Now, if you're ready to play and be curious, and there is no need to be good at this, just have the experience. What could I possibly notice from a different place? Could I notice, the ego will tell you, the data will tell you, you look this way, you come from here, you have this style of clothing, but your mind will never tell you what they love, what they care about, what matters to them. Your mental drive-by will never give away or dial into what their vulnerabilities are, what they're really looking for. And every single one of you working with people, when you dial into that, and then you choose to help it, you rise to the top and they will sing your praises to the world. But if you miss it, you're forgettable. I'm sorry to say, you're forgettable. You really are, because the mind doesn't stick, only the spirit. So this is a chance to practice. And the reason why you can do this is because you're born this way. You have a core frequency. You have enough love for humanity that you wouldn't be here. Because what you're doing is a difficult job. Trying to help people make maybe one of the most scary decisions of their lives. And they need to be in control, so you don't want to arm wrestle. But if you see them, they'll give over and trust you completely because they know you get me. So it's practice, okay? I'm going to give you 5 minutes, sit in groups of 3, and notice something about one another, and say so. And don't hold back. Be creative, do 3, do 4, do whatever you find yourself in, but really take the risk of sharing something that you normally haven't expressed. Look for their beauty, look for their talent, look for their strength, look for their lost gifts. Notice each other accurately. There's a beautiful spirit in there, an incredible divine energy. Notice it. It's miraculous. And I'm going to invite you to say something that's not safe. Don't give them just top-note flattery. Don't just take the drive-by invitation. See something in them that's not obvious. A gift, a talent, something that's present that if you really are with them, you'll feel it. Not see it, you'll feel it. I'll give you 1 more minute. Okay. Shh. Shh. I'm going to ask you to come back. And just step back and see if you feel like you're with different people than you were 5 minutes ago. Just take a breath. Ah. And I want you to get used to that breath. This breath opens the gateway to your guides. It's right here. Ah, you can feel it open till you feel a click in your ear. Ah. Now, do you notice when you were in this experience that who you're with suddenly has deepened and changed? That you've actually had an experience of seeing someone that you didn't see a minute ago? What did you notice, for example, that you didn't see 5 minutes ago? The group you were noticing. What's different? Mm-hmm. Did you see any qualities in them that you hadn't noticed before? Gifts, skills, talents, beauty, interests? Okay, good point. And thank you for being honest. Because if you don't notice that, you're going to miss the opportunities. She didn't, I said, did you notice their gifts, their talents, their interests, what really they care about? And she said, not really. That's habit. The habit is that we look for what we want. But look for who they are. And when you see them, even glimpse them, they're so thrilled to have a connection that's authentic. They'll trust you. Otherwise, they're with you, but they're not going to give you their availability. So, what did you notice? Mm-hmm. That's exactly what we want. Excellent. That you may not have noticed lately. Right. But that's her superpower. That's your superpower. That is your superpower. So, if you want to work with your spirit guides, first you have to awaken your own spirit. Spirit guides do not talk to your ego. It's like AM radio doesn't connect to satellite. Okay? You have to change the frequency. And the simple way to do it is to be highly interested in this universe that you're with. Not the surface and certainly not the backstory. My wife would kill me. She'd divorce me. But when she's ringing at the doorbell, I run away. I'm missing my own life, my own wife. So this is the first important shift to make in your life. I want to give you practical tools that you will see results from within 72 hours. It's not like you have to fumble in the dark. When you turn on the light, you see immediately. But you have to turn on the light. And the light is the light of your heart. That's why I have you do the breath work and the body work, because most people are so numbed out and checked out and not in your bodies, you don't notice anything. And that makes you really powerless. Really powerless. So the little exercise I gave you that annoys every part of you that's like, I don't leave me alone, wakes you up and puts you back in your body. That breath quiets and cools the noisy brain. The movement activates and brings your right brain and your heart brain and your gut brain back online, because those inner senses are what connect you to your spirit world. Your ego doesn't even get to play. Okay? Breathe. Smile. Move around a little bit. Check. Am I okay? I still feel okay? Is this kind of interesting? Okay, so next. What are you not noticing in yourself that is a superpower that you might be neglecting? Because your ego and all your ego talents are tools. It's this, the divine, Einstein said, it is the helper, the faithful servant. But what's your superpower? What is your superpower? What is the quality in you that is your fire, your spark? Because that's what your guides are helping. That. My compassion is I love people, and I give them a lot of grace because I know they're struggling and trying their best. It's a superpower. Mine is professionalism. I'm not going to mess with them. I'm going to show up and keep my word and do things right so what I'm saying is reliable and can be tested. That's a superpower. Do you see that? So the next conversation is I want you to turn to a new group, and I want you to tell the people that what your superpower is. Because we spend so much time hoping people notice, and they're so preoccupied with their phones and in their brains and checked out, they don't notice anything, so you exhaust yourself. But if you know what your superpower is, and you own it, then you are no longer completely enslaved to approval. Can you imagine that liberty? That freedom? Wouldn't that be nice? That I navigate in this world and I just work with certainty and confidence and desire to serve because it's fun. Feels good. It's fun. It's satisfying. So let's now wake up. What's your superpower? You came up here. That was one of them. I love that. Nobody else wanted to come up. You came up. Yeah, you're committed to growth. That's superpower. Most people checked out when they're 18. Really, they have. I've done a lot. I have brain studies and all the stuff that people used to say, you're full of shit and whatever, pardon me. But, so I studied the brain. It checks out. It goes into autopilot. And you don't. You're present. And you're willing to be uncomfortable. Superpower. Superpower. So, what is your superpower? 1, 2, 3, and 2 in. Yeah. Yeah. And do you know that you're transmitting love when you smile? Do you know that it's not, it's a transmission? It is a vibration that lights up the room and people feel reassured. Superpower. How do you feel right now? How do you feel owning it among everybody? Yeah, like real, authentic. I can really be who I am. And you next to her, what's your superpower? Mm-hmm. The listening superpower is the biggest gateway to working with the spirit guides because everything is vibration. So you're listening not just to words, but you're listening to the vibration of the communication. And you're checking to see if I can be supportive to those requests, their needs. Amazing superpower, which will make you very easily guided, and I'm sure you quite are already. Right? No, that's not the truth. What's the truth? Exactly. That, like, I'm okay is the conditioning of play small to fit in because I don't want to be misinterpreted, but you radiate. So if I can do anything for you today, it's to own your superpowers because the world needs them. Don't dial them down. And it's not your ego. It is the spirit of you, and it is the love in you that is radiating. And that's what gives you access to guides. So I want you to turn to the person next to you and say, I'm sure you've noticed this, but I just want to take full ownership. I know who I am. I know who I am. I know the magic I have. And it's really good to just acknowledge it. And let's just see how that feels. And no, you don't have to be modest and ho-hum, and it's okay, because that's not true. To really radiate clarity about I know who I am doesn't make the person next to you have to take care of you. That gives them freedom to relax. They don't have to keep shoring up and affirming. They get to just be who they are. It's very liberating to be with people who know who they are. They're not bragging. They're not even saying anything. But when you know who you are, you give others permission to be who they are authentically. So let's practice. Turn to the people next to you and share that super genius gift. You know, really, I'm a rock star. You don't know that. But I am actually the world's best playwright. Whatever it is, share it. Shh. And I invite you to not just talk about the superpowers you used, but the ones you set aside. The ones that were there once upon a time, that music, or that creative writing, or that acting, or that ability to cut a rug, or that adventurous spirit. I invite you to call those aspects of yourself back. Even if they haven't been engaged, you are like 1,000-faceted crystal, and every one of those aspects is part of your divine nature. And call it back. Even if you don't express it day to day, that I'm a musician means I can bring music into every interaction. I can make conversations be musical and rhythmic and fun instead of static controlling. I have the superpower of being a great storyteller. I remember wanting to write when I was little, and I'll use that when I'm working with people. Because every person is a novel, every person is a movie, every scenario is a comedy. Let's see that and use that. And maybe I'm a really good cook. So maybe I will use this superpower of nurturing people and being a flavorful person. I won't just be boring in stats. I'll be flavorful. I will help notice the color and the sound, the smell, and wake up the senses. Call it back, because your spirit guides want that part of you to be watering that garden in you, flower that aspect of you. And that is when life will start sailing easily. So add at least one or two qualities and superpowers that you've let kind of sit to the side or not really value. We'll just add that before we finish this conversation. Okay, shh. And now before we go to the next experience, I want you to share with the person you're talking with, what have I heard so far or learned so far that will actually stick? That I actually caught my imagination of, just the things I've taught you so far. What has come up that actually I might remember? Because remember means take back and put back into who I am. That I should breathe and move and be present. Never assume I know anyone. Remember my superpowers. Look for the gifts in others. Know who I am. Those are the things I've shared, just to help you summarize it. What of any of that sticks, if anything? And if nothing, know that nah, not enough. And just know that, okay, and why? That's just the second question. Because nothing I've suggested so far is unnatural. Every child under the age of 5 knows all of this. And is fully embodied in all of this. I remember one time my husband was working when I was married. My daughter was 3 and she's helping him cook. And he says to her, she's cooking this pea soup and it's flying everywhere, just flying everywhere. And he goes, "Oh, Sabrina, let me guide your hand." And she just, not even missing a beat, she goes, "Yep, God's in my hand. God's in my heart too." Just, I know who I am. And I want you to reclaim that. So just for a minute, so we don't forget, I want you to just say, well, these are the things that piqued my interest. And then, the one you hated the most, that's the one you need to learn first. The one you hated the most is the part of you holding yourself back. So share that before we go on and bring in the guides, okay? Okay. Shh. Just move around a little bit. Take a breath. And then I want you to look around the room, and I want you to notice one thing you haven't really noticed before, and tell your person that you're sitting with or the group one thing you haven't noticed. Like, oh my God, I didn't notice there was like little strange things hanging off the lamps in the ceiling. I didn't notice that. I didn't just one thing, because one of the definitions of leading a highly guided intuitive life is the skill of constantly noticing the subtle. Being present and noticing. So let's just notice one thing right now and share it with someone. I didn't know that you had green eyes. I was in my head. I wasn't looking. So just one little thing to pull you back in and be present. So share one little thing. Okay. Shh. When I started working with my teachers, I had 3 master teachers of tremendous skill. And one of my master teachers I started with at 12. And one of my assignments was he said, every hour, notice something you've never noticed before. Get out of your head. Get back into your body. Be present. And then I want you to notice the most beautiful thing right in front of you. And say so out loud. And I've been conditioned, my whole life has been conditioned to be present, to be observing, to be listening, and to be celebrating what's beautiful. Because the ego does a drive-by, doesn't notice anything, clumps people together. Oh, you look like this, or you're that, or you sitting there, and you're this, and you're that. And so we just kind of put people into different categories and think we know it. And we don't listen, and we're not present. And we're running around the house going, where the hell are my keys? And they're in your hand. So you know how that goes. So these are exercises that will change your experience. You have phones now. God knows we've been trained to be addicted to them. Set it for an hour and it just buzz. And in that hour, look up, look out, and notice something beautiful and say so. Right in front of you. The ego looks for trouble. It's awful. It's otherizing. Me against you, you scare me. I'm going to be looking for trouble. I am going to spin things negatively. I'm going to tell stories, and I'm going to be defended. That's the training of the ego. But the spirit is always looking for, how are we alike? What are we sharing? What is possible? What can we create together? And it opens up an entire universe of possibility. I have a client who actually is a realtor, and she said what she was given a client that had the reputation from hell, and that she would be the person. I guess you guys have these newsletters and things or something you could write on and could tell someone's reputation is terrible. And my client said she wrote about me and just destroyed my reputation. She's just an awful person, awful, awful woman. Like, okay, that is what you're noticing. But what if you noticed something else? Let's just do for sport something else. You already don't like her. You've already decided who she is and how she's wronged you, and this is so unfair and blah, blah, blah. So let's just spin this around and notice something else. I said, this person wasn't very happy. And I said, just play along with me. Well, I noticed that she's lonely. Oh, say, okay. Did you notice that when you were working with her? No, not really. Okay. And I noticed that she feels wronged by the world. I was just the next one. I said, but did you notice that when you were working with her? No. And what else did you notice? And he said, well, I noticed that after that horrible experience with her, that I got a little bit more attentive to the next clients because I was afraid and I didn't want it to happen again. So I started behaving a little bit differently. Okay, good. What else did you notice? I noticed that she didn't ruin my life and that I kept selling and I kept making deals, and actually my reality didn't change that much. Okay, so the things you said that your ego's saying ruined your life didn't happen. Anything else you've noticed? He said, I've noticed that I'm resilient because that was the worst thing that could happen to me, and it already happened, and now it happened. And my life's still going on, and I'm still thriving and doing really well. And I said, then you should thank her. And he's like, you're kidding. I said, no, really, you should write her and thank her write her an email and thank her for making you a more empowered person at the minimum. And he sat on that for 6 months and did. He wrote her one day and said, I just want to thank you. That was such a terrible experience for me, so I can only imagine that it must have been worse for you. But I have learned, and if I can ever help you again, let me know. Then she wrote an apology and said, I actually took it out on you. You looked like my ex-husband. And they had a healing. Now, that was a guided experience. That's the basis of a guided experience, how your guides can help you. That was a miracle. Believe me, there was a lot of guides working on that interaction. It was not just two egos having an exchange. But he was willing, and he had nothing to lose. He was willing. So we have to look at the part of you that's willing to see things a bit differently, because your guides are here to help you do and create and accomplish things that you otherwise aren't allowing for. So the next thing I want you to share, and turn around and have conversations that bring in others, share a guided experience you've already had. Because the truth is, this is natural. You've had moments that you can't explain, especially in your worlds, because you're dealing with people's survival. Their homes and their investments and their ground is their survival. So you've been helped. You got the right word one day. You happen to find a connection to somebody that was just random. You're going to start working with guides by starting to acknowledge where they have already helped you, where you just passed it off as coincidence. You passed it off as that was kind of strange, kind of a weird big deal, no big deal, but something happened here that I couldn't have made up. I could not have figured out. And if you start talking among each other, you'll remember the things you've forgotten. So the next few minutes conversation, talk about how your guides have already helped you. And it's not going to be a big deal. It's going to be a little deal. So little that you can brush it off as coincidence or that's odd or strange, and easily ignore it. But once you name it, you claim it. You got 1,000 guides sitting around waiting to help you, and they're all talking to each other saying, did you get any calls? No, not today. Any breakthroughs? Well, a few hang-ups. Yeah, I helped, but they immediately ignored me. So if you start acknowledging your guidance, it will turn on like fireflies in the summer night, like that, by simply acknowledging, because now you're noticing. So let's just share a few of those moments, and they're going to be really tiny, but they're going to make a big difference. So let's take 5 minutes and do that. Okay. Shh. Now, I'm sure this has been the most interesting conversation you've had so far. But here's what I want you to know. What you're doing right now is you are actually opening and emphasizing the channel that your spirit guides are helping and working with you to pay attention. So the first thing is to recognize, did anybody come up with got nothing? Nothing? By the end of the day, even if you did, you'll have something. Because it's natural. What we're doing is we are taking ownership of what is natural. You know, monarch butterflies fly from one continent to the other and find their way home. Bats navigate with echolocation, and whales navigate. Why not you? One of the highest forms of communication, and the layers of help are layer upon layer. And have you noticed in your stories how elegant you're helped? It's all so elegant. It just kind of slips in. And what I want you to notice is when you start naming it, you start claiming it, but you've just opened the door. Now, what if you made this your new normal? What if not only do you recognize I'm being helped, but you actually dial it up and say thank you? And let's take it a step further and ask for it in every single encounter you have. Look, I'm going into this. I need help. So whatever is available in my entourage of spirit helpers and the helpers of whomever I'm connected with as well, and the spirit of the places that I'm talking about, there's energy in location. That's why in every Native American or any sort of tradition that is indigenous, they honor the land and the spirit in the land. So what if you are that conscious person who is going to move way past what your ego will allow and let your spirit be the leader of your business? And by the way, in astrology, the planet Venus rules love, relationships. It rules beauty, but it also rules business and money, because good business and good money is love and relationships that are flowing. So when we start working with those qualities and that frequency, you become memorable and effective and helped. So the next thing is, if you want your life to transform in the next 72 hours, you're just switching back on what you are naturally designed to have access to. You're not alone. You are helped, and that guidance isn't out here, it's moving through here. But it takes, and what you've noticed, your attention. And B, acknowledgement. So the next thing you do is you start asking for it. It's all that needs to happen. You start asking for help. I want to tell you a really good guide story on the way here. Okay, I flew from Paris and I went to San Francisco. My flight was delayed. I was really tired. And I had put my headphones out to pack and put back in my backpack. And inside of that, I put my passport and I put my French cell phone. Thought, isn't this clever, right? Nice little zipper up. And we landed, and I took off, left the plane, spent almost 8 hours, I think maybe even a little more, waiting for the delay in the next plane. I sit down into my little tiny plane coming here. I just sit down, and all of a sudden, whoosh, where's my headphones? Where's my passport? And I knew. I couldn't feel it, wasn't with me. So I asked the flight attendant, can you help me? We were getting ready to take off. You know the commotion. I asked her, will you help me? And she said, well, I can't help you. I said, but maybe you can. Would you just, I know planes. I know travel. The plane I landed is going to go. It's been that many hours. They could clean it. It could take off. It could go. Could you just find a way to see if someone could contact that plane. She said no, and I said, please ask the captain. She told me to go to some website on the plane, on the app, and there was no cell service. So I asked my guides. I said, this is a bummer. I gotta go back home on Saturday. I need my passport. I need my headphones. So I said, just please ask the captain. So she said, well, all right. It's unusual. Just ask my guides. I said, my angels are asking for help, and I'm asking you to help me. You could be an earth angel. So she disappeared. 15 minutes later, she came back and said the captain called, and they found it. And it's at the Lost and Found in San Francisco. Everything is there. Now, that's a miracle. And that is how your guides can help you. But I knew if I asked for help, something would help me. It's the certainty. So, do you ever ask? Do you ever ask? And let me ask you, beautiful, sparkly man, 1, 2, 3 at the end. You have such a beautiful vibration. It just lights up that corner. And what would you like your guides to help you with? Just now. My guides are helping you right now because I'm talking to you. So right now you're opening up, and you are beautiful. Really, look at him. You're beautiful. Your heart is sweet, your energy is sincere, and you want to connect. Guides are already helping you. And Mr. Crossed Arms, you're also a bright light. What do you want your guides to help you with? Ask for the real thing. Okay. There's so much, money is energy. That's all it is, and there's no lack. There's only lack of imagination. And your guides will help you. Help me fund this. And the next thing you say, thank you. I will be expecting that. Thank you very much. And you obviously know these people a little, so you can report back when all that money comes in. Okay? Deal? Deal. Okay, deal. Okay, 1, 2, 3 back, and 1, 2, 3 in, right there in the middle. What would you like your guides? You're looking that way now. What would you love? Okay, thank you in advance. Miracles are normal. Only thing that limits miracles is our own imagination. So guide me, but here's how it works. When you're guided, don't argue. Say, yes, I could have just sat in that plane. I could have went, crap, I'm really dumb. I really blew it. Now I'm stuck. What am I going to do? Go to the app. I can't even get on the internet because there's no internet on this plane. Or, I have a miracle, please. Help me. So you have to have an availability to be helped. Wouldn't you love that? Okay. Pop up 1. Red in the middle. You blend in, and I want you to step out because your guides are popping all around you like popcorn. But your guides are going to try to get your attention. They'll give you a feather. They'll give you a 333. They'll give you a penny on the ground. But you got to ask for what you want. What would you love next? Where? Okay. And how many kids? Okay. Thank you in advance. I have to tell you another guide story. I was working with this woman, and she said, guides just seem to bypass me. Very cynical, just assumed. I said, okay, well, ask. Just ask. What would you like? She said, first of all, I'd like to go on a vacation, and I can't afford to go across the street. Okay, well, then it would be a real stretch, and it would have to be a miracle, and guides would have to help, right? So I said, but can you possibly open the door to asking without being prepared to be disappointed and stay in your comfort zone of not me, not now, not again, okay? Can you be open to that? You might be surprised. Well, this is what happened to her. So Miss Negative, and very convinced the world was working against her, I said, let's do it for 72 hours. Can you stretch open the door? And this is another lesson. Never assume you know anything, because whatever you know is as of yesterday. You don't know what's coming. So open the door. Then she agreed. Said, you can fully come and tell me what a bag of wind I am or not. So 72 hours later, just at the 10th hour, her college roommate called her. Then talked in years. They were good friends in college. She said, hey, bizarre, I know, I haven't talked to you in ages, but I work for Sony, and I have to go to Japan for a week, and I got 2 business class tickets and full accommodations for a week, and would you believe it? Nobody I know can go. You want to go? And off she went. So there you go. There you go. What are you waiting for? Ask. Ask all the time. I ask every day. People tell me all the time, you are the luckiest person I know. And I say, I am, because I don't do anything alone. I ask. And you have to ask out loud, and you have to say thank you. What would you like at the end? A new car. What color? Okay, thank you for my new car. Are you willing to receive it? Any resistance? And tell me the name of your spirit guide. Make it up. No, you do. Make it up. It's your spirit guide. Kevin. Okay, Kevin, got a job for you. I need a car. New? Yes. White? Yes. Now, please. Okay, how about you? What would you like? I want home. Help me. Are you available? Can you get the logic brain out of the mix? That doesn't sound convincing to me. Did any of you believe it? Life is vibration. Your vibration was not matching what you're saying, and you know it. So can you open up that maybe I don't know everything? It's quite possible that it might happen in a way that I don't figure out, and I could actually be helped. You're really struggling with that, so try something less big so you can start. Let's go a little bit smaller because you're can't do it. Let's just start easier so you build up the muscles. What would you like? A little bit easier. And it's not easier for the guides. They can give you a house today. It's easier for you. You see that resistance? And that resistance is something everybody shares. But can you feel it? It's like party pooper. It is. Can you say, and that is not your spirit. Okay, right. But what's your spirit? Because no angel is going to come in or no spirit guide is going to help that. Because you're committed to it. Can't help you. What would you love? Okay. Just give me enough love for myself and enough love for the routine that I show up. Just give me the encouragement to show up. Help me. Show up. I walked the Camino de Santiago. If you don't know what that is, it's like an 800-kilometer, 35-day walk. I wrote a book about it, walking home. I only walked to the grocery store. I was no way a hiker, but I walked that, and every single day, some miracle got me through. I wrote the book about it because I couldn't do it alone. But I had miracle after miracle. Einstein said you can live one of 2 ways, as if nothing's a miracle or if everything's a miracle. What do you choose? Nothing's a miracle or I live for miracles. It's simply that easy. People don't believe me, but it is that easy. People who live for miracles and have room for them and ask for help get it. And if you don't, then God says, okay, your angels say okay, your guides say okay, guess I got a dud. So turn to the person next to you and tell them, this is what I want. And listen to the vibration. Don't listen to the words. Listen to the vibration. I would love a new boyfriend. It's like, no, you wouldn't. You are about as available as a hole in the head for a new boyfriend. I would love to have $1 trillion sale. It's like, no, you wouldn't. You're too in love with being miserable. So you have to listen to your voice, because your voice is your vibration. And if your vibration is a flat pancake, then you are your own problem. Your own problem. What would you love? Yeah. I would love that too for you. And that's the second part of this. Find someone who will love it with you. I would love that for you. That would make you a happy person. That means everybody you touch will be inspired by your vibration. I would love that for you. Take what you would love to the people who will love it for you. That's one of the first ways guides help you. They will move you into place to be connected to people who want for you the best. What would you love? Mr. Handsome Man, right there, right next to Joan. What would you love? Yeah, that means just be in my spirit. So I'm going to give you one last tool to help you. Your guides heard you. Now here's the tool my guides gave me that I love. They say, as Einstein says, your spirit is your sacred gift, and your rational mind is your faithful servant. So I say, consider it your barking dog. Your ego is your barking dog. It is a part of you that's trying to protect and patrol the borders and make sure nothing gets in too close. So what kind of a barking dog do you think I have? Poodle, obviously. Yeah, can't you see it? So what kind of barking dog do you have? Yep, and cats are the ones that need to be special. There's always a cat, there's a parakeet, I'm sure there's an alligator. But it tells you that your ego is not even going to be that. I'm going to be special. And if you are special, change it to spatial. Okay? Now, what kind of barking dog do you have? Accountant. A Chihuahua. And so, what kind do you have? A Chihuahua. What kind do you have? What's the name? Name your dog. Yeah. Yeah. Give your ego a name. My ego is Fifi. She loves to shop and live in Paris, okay? But she is not my spirit. She is not running my life. She helps. She helps my spirit, but she doesn't try to be my spirit. So everybody turn to the person next to you and tell me, what is your barking dog? What kind? A poodle. Okay. So you love your barking dog, you don't shoot the dog. But now there's two parts to this. Shh. Everybody. First, out your dog. Okay? And you don't shoot the dog. You train the dog. And a good way to train it is, because they love to go for a run. And behind the dog, my dog's Fifi. But then you name your spirit. And my spirit is bright light. So tell everybody, meet my dog. Now I have one person who said, my dog's a German Shepherd, and he patrols the borders just back and forth, just waiting for anybody to cross my boundaries. And then there was my dog's a little squirrely Chihuahua under the bed, just hiding and shaking and shaking. And then one of my clients said, well, my dog's a mutt who humps everybody. Do you like me? Do you like me? Do you like me? So name your dog and give him a name, out him, and tell him, I love you, but you don't run my life. You don't run my life. So take a minute for that. Okay, we just want you to introduce your dog and give him a name. We don't want the pedigree backstory, okay? We just want to quick name your dog. Now, here's the deal. We're running out of time, and I want to give you a couple of very how to put it to use tips. First of all, you are naturally hardwired to be beautifully guided because you are a spirit. So the next thing to do is name your spirit. Recognize that my spirit is my core frequency. My spirit is that vibration that lets me know I am in flow or I've drifted off. My spirit expands, and I am not in my head when I am connected to my core frequency. And when I am contracted and running around in my head like a pinball machine, that is my barking dog chasing me around, and I need to take it for a run. You go for a walk, you get in a shower, you sing out loud to your favorite playlist, and you get right back to your spirit. You want to live in full, spontaneous, and authentic energy? Dance. Do you know what dancing is and why people don't like to dance? And there's a whole TED Talk on this. It's true. When you dance, your spirit takes over your body, and your ego has to completely surrender. So when you're doing tight butt dance, it's a fight. Your barking dog's like, you can't get in here, can't get in here. So your head bobs around. But when you surrender to the dance, if you dance for 5 minutes a day to your favorite song, take a hairbrush and sing out loud, you will have the most exuberant, brilliant, guided life with so many miracles by the end of the month, you won't know what hit you because you will be being your divine self. It's that simple. But you have to decide to let go. So for anybody who really wants to live at the highest frequency, it's that easy. You were divinely created. You cannot improve upon your natural self. You can only improve upon allowing it to come out. Your guides are with you, but they don't interrupt. They're very subtle, and you have to pay attention. They have a tremendous sense of humor. They give you signs all the time, repeating numbers, feathers that come out of nowhere, pennies on the ground, people who show up out of nowhere and say, can I help you? And then just escort you to where you're going and then disappear before your eyes. We live in a magical world. You have to change the channel. You have to level up to a higher frequency. And AM radio is your own ego. Talk, 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 talk. Doesn't allow and notice anything, but if you would quiet that and start simply paying attention and noticing what's beautiful and saying, I want this and I'm available and I'm not going to be so protective of disappointment and fearful that I'm going to just shut it down, you can have miracle after miracle after miracle, and your guides are being high-fiving each other to help you. We are not meant to be in this constant, contracted, constrained misery. There is no lack of opportunity. There's no lack of money. There's no lack of possibility. There's no lack of manifestation. There is only lack of imagination. Only lack of imagination. Those who imagine open the door of the spirit. What I did with that first exercise is brought your imagination back online. It's the other side of your brain. And then I brought it back into your body. That's all you have to have. Live either as though nothing's a miracle or everything is a miracle. Now, I have a miracle waiting for me in San Francisco. I live that way. You could too, because it's the way we were born to live. So you can get my book, Ask Your Guides, and listen to it. I don't think any of you should read it. You're all too much too inclined to fall into your heads. Listen while you're out walking and noticing something beautiful. It's on audio. It'll just wake up what's naturally there. You don't have to reach for it. It's here. It's who you are. You are not meant to live in this dense energy. It's a drag. Take the risk. Send us a postcard from Alaska. Let your friends know when your project is funded. Don't have a lack of imagination. And tell us all the wonderful things your beautiful spirit is doing with people, because you have so much love and we really need it. There is no lack except for imagination and tight butt syndrome. You got to give up the control. Okay, so I am done. Our work is done, but before we finish, turn to the person next to you and tell them the one thing that you're going to take away today. Because if you take that one thing, you'll remember everything. Okay? So give me my 1 minute. I'm going to take this away and put it to use in my life. Come up here. Yes. What is your superpower? My superpower is that I wake up with you. I help you own who you are. I'm like a light. I snap you back into your body. Can you feel that? Thank you. Yeah. It's an energy. It's a transmission. It was good. Your spirit's in your body, everything comes. If your barking dog's driving the bus, you're going around the block over and over. Thanks for asking. Okay, you guys, I'm going to end with a song because that will put you back in your energy. And this song is something that I want you to just tuck away in your mind when you get lost, okay? Just, you'll remember it. You know the words. And I want you to just close your eyes and try this. Sing it at the top of your lungs, okay? But you got to close your eyes because your barking dog goes, I don't sing. But your spirit does, okay? So you got to close your eyes. And when we need some help, so you got to put it really loud so nobody's self-conscious. And this is going to anchor this whole experience for you, okay? Ready? Curious? I'm curious because I'm so tech challenged. Here we go. Much, everybody. It was a real pleasure. I'm a real honor, and you're all going straight to the top. All my love.
Fantastic. Thank you. All right, everybody. Wow. Phenomenal. What a treat. Thank you so much. It was amazing. All right. Woohoo! One more time. Thank you, Sonia. Thank you. All right. We're coming down to our last break. What time do we have now? 2:49. Okay. So we are going to take a break until 3:10. 3:10. I need you to be ready back in your seats. We've got an incredible closing today. We're going to get into the hard stuff now. Okay? See how it's been getting a little bit more interesting? Now we're going to get into really the hard stuff. But this is going to be exciting. So please, back in your chairs, 3:10 sharp, please. Thank you.